Hi everyone, it's just me, Patty. If you watched last week's video, you know I'm trying to do a high protein, low carb diet, and I'm trying to lose a few pounds before I go on vacation with my husband and my little doggy in May. So I'm trying to lose a little bit of weight before we go. So I'm trying a high protein, low carb diet for the next few months and see if I can lose at least 10 to 20 pounds before I go. So let me show you what I got at the grocery store today, and I'll be making a few meals, meal prepping today. So let me show you what I got. Okay, so for today's grocery haul, let me start over here. I got some hamburger, some pork chops. I'll be cutting the rest of that fat off of there. Sorry for the glare of the light. Some sweet potatoes, blueberries, zucchini, spaghetti squash, some broccoli, and those are just quick and easy squash, potatoes, zucchini, that kind of stuff in these. Bought some cabbage. I saw somebody make lasagna and they used the cabbage to make the noodles. That looked really good, so I want to try that for this week. And some peppers, some bananas, rice cakes. I found these bagels. They're high protein bagels, so hopefully those will be good. And some parsley, and what else I got? Oh, cilantro, already chopped up because I really don't feel like chopping anything up. And of course a lot of eggs for breakfast. And I did buy this 6-pack of Wonder Water. I figure that's much better than drinking soda, so I'll be drinking that this week. And I got some more cottage cheese and the Oikos yogurt. And then, let me see. Okay, and I also ran over to Target and I got this dash machine. It makes egg bites a little bit easier to make and prepare for the week. So I picked that up, and then I also picked up this Element drink mixes to put in my water to stay hydrated, because it's winter here in the Northeast and it's very dry. You need to stay hydrated. And then I also bought this Isopure chocolate and vanilla zero carb protein powder. I see a lot of people adding that to their shakes and some other things that they eat. So I'll be using that this week also. So there's my haul for this week, and I'll be showing you later on a few things that I make to prepare for this week's high protein, low carb diet. Okay, and if you're wondering how much that food costs for this week was, let me see, $93.35. And then I got the other stuff at Target, but I'm trying to stick to $100 or less a week. They say that eating healthier is sometimes expensive, but I think if I could spend $100 or less a week on food and eat healthier, all the power to it. So hopefully it works for me. I'm not sure if my husband will eat any of this, but he does his own thing and I do my own thing, so we'll see. Okay, so today I'm going to make some cabbage lasagna. I don't know if anyone's ever tried it. I never tried it and I want to give it a try. I keep seeing a lot of people make lasagna from cabbage, and I just thought that might be a little bit healthier choice than using regular lasagna noodles. So let me get started and we'll get making a nice high protein, low carb lasagna with cabbage today. Okay, so I just wanted to show you what I'm going to be using. Obviously the cabbage, some cottage cheese. I'm going to put a little bit of zucchini, and then I have some ground hamburger. I'm going to cut up a bell pepper, And I have a little bit of cheese left here, so I'm going to use that cheese. I have some Rayo's sauce. It is pizza sauce, but that's the only one I have, so I'm going to be using that today. Like I said, I have a little bit of cheese left here. A little bit of oregano to flavor up the hamburger, and a little bit of cilantro. So just a very simple recipe, and I'm going to cut up the cabbage first and boil it. Okay, so first in a medium-sized pan, I'm going to start boiling some water, and then we'll add the cabbage to the pan. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is just take this cabbage and cut this end right here off. Then I'm just going to peel a couple of these outside layers off because I don't like eating those, because who knows who touched that in the store. So I'm just going to throw those outside layers away. And then what I'm going to do is just peel this apart. Until the layers are like this. So that way, when we go to lay this down after it's cooked, it will look like noodles for the lasagna. It's very easy. So once you cut that off, it's very easy to just peel this right off. See? And I'm not going to make that much because it's just going to be me eating this. So probably just gonna make peel off like 8 of these, so I can make a 2-layer lasagna with the cabbage. All right, and while the water is becoming to a boil, I'm going to start on cooking the hamburger. So I'm going to turn this on, get that started. I'm not going to add everything to the hamburger quite yet because I'm going to save some of it for some other different meals for the rest of the week. But I'm going to be adding some flavorings in once I get it separated, and I'll show you that. Okay, and like I said in my other videos, I'm no chef or anything. This is just me trying out some meals that I've seen people make that are high protein, low carb. So yeah, so I'm just coming up with my own recipes and trying them out. So if you like to watch, that'd be great. So I'll show you how to make lasagna the way I'm making it, nice and easy. Okay, hamburger is starting to cook down, so let's keep cooking that down. I'm just going to break the hamburger up so it cooks a little faster. I don't know if you can see, the water's come to a boil, so now I'm going to add the cabbage. So I'm just going to drop these pieces of cabbage right in there. I know it looks like the pan's not big enough, but once it cooks down, they'll off it. So put them all in there and let that cook down. I'll show you it all cooked down after it's all cooked down. And I am going to add just a little bit of pepper, just to give it a little flavor, and a little bit of salt. And when I make the other meals, then I'll season it more, but just give that a little bit of flavoring. add a little bit of garlic salt. So you can add a little bit of garlic, just to give it a little flavor. Let that cook up. So as you can see, it's getting there. I like to keep stirring it. And chopping it up. Okay, water's becoming to a boil for the cabbage. So you can see the cabbage is starting to boil down. I probably should have used just a little bit bigger pan, but I'll make do with what I have. So I'm gonna cook like 3 pieces at a time. I'm only cooking 6 pieces, so it shouldn't take that long. Okay, and before I forget, I'm going to turn the oven on to 350. Okay, and now that the hamburger is all cooked, I'm going to drain it and then I'm gonna set it aside. All right, so now that the cabbage is cooked, I'm going to cut it and make it look like lasagna pasta. And then I'm gonna layer, start layering the dish that I'm gonna be cooking it in. So then I just took the cabbage and I cut it so these look like lasagna. So just like little pieces. That way we can spread these out in the baking dish. So let me show you. Okay, so now everything is all diced up. That's some zucchini, got some peppers, cottage cheese with 1 egg, one cup of cottage cheese with 1 egg. I'm gonna blend that. And I have my hamburger ready to go. And some sauce. Okay, and to the cottage cheese, like I said, I added 1 egg, added a little bit of cilantro and a little bit of oregano, just to give it a little bit of flavor. So next what I'm going to do is take a piece of the cabbage and start layering it like it's a lasagna. So whatever way you want. So let's put that in there. Okay, like that. And then I'm going to add the cottage cheese, put the hamburger and the sauce. So you can arrange the cabbage any way you want, but just think of it as a lasagna, but you're using cabbage instead of lasagna noodles. Okay, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of the cottage cheese. Spread that around. Okay. Then I'm going to add some of the zucchini. Some peppers. And some hamburger. Excuse me 1 sec. I'm just going to stir this sauce up just a little tad. And then add the sauce. So it's nice and coated. All right, so let me show you what the first layer looks like if you're interested. Let me show you. Okay, so far I laid down the cabbage, and then I laid down the cottage cheese mixture, then the hamburger, and some zucchini, some chopped up peppers, and the sauce. And then I'm gonna add another layer and just do the same thing. Okay, see how the cabbage looks like the lasagna pasta? And then next I'm going to put on the zucchini. Not in any particular order, but just tossle it on. Okay, and then I'm going to add the peppers. Like I said, I'm not a chef or anything, so it's, you know, not going to be that fancy, but I'm just showing you how to prepare it. And then I'm going to put some hamburger. All right, so it's going to look something like this. You can spread it out a little bit before you put the cottage cheese mixture on. Okay, there it is with the cottage cheese mixture. And then I'm going to add the sauce and some cheese on top. Okay, and then I pour the rest of the jar of the sauce and spread it around everything nice and evenly. And now I'm going to add a little bit of shredded mozzarella cheese. Okay, and here's all prepared, and we're just going to pop it in the oven for 30 minutes and then check on it and see if it's done. All right, so that took about 45 minutes to prepare. It could take you less time if you're in a hurry and you chop up everything and have it already prepared. But yeah, about 45 minutes to prepare it, and then another half an hour in the oven at 350. Oh, it looks really, really good. I'm going to try a little bit right now. Looks good. I'll have to cut a piece and see how it tastes. Okay, so I'm just gonna give the cabbage a little bit of a try right now. Sorry, I only put it on this cover just to give this little piece a little bit of a try. But anyways, it's really, really good. So if you're looking for a high protein, low carb meal, I definitely give this a suggestion. It tastes really good. It's really, really delicious. Give it a try if you like. Stay tuned. I'll try to make some more high protein, low carb meals, as long as I find some good recipes. If anyone has any, let me know. I want to make some high protein, low carb breakfast meals, so stay tuned for those, and stay tuned for all my other regular videos coming soon. Like I said, I'll be planning a trip for May. Stay tuned for that, and I'll let you know where we're going. But anyways, thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe and like to my channel. Thank you. See you for now. Bye-bye.